finally, we're going to move on to diet. We're going to be looking at the benefits of a healthy diet, the effects of poor nutrition, and recommendations and guidelines. So first of all, we're going to start with the benefits of a healthy diet. Now, a healthy diet can protect the human body from all diseases, really. The majority of diseases, it can stop it by having a stronger immune system, more nutrients and the right stuff. It can stop you from certain diseases like obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and some types of cancer and skeletal conditions as well. So it's really important that you have a good diet that's full of nutrition and vitamins and minerals and all that sort of stuff, and the stuff that you really need to be able to just live, just to be able to survive, really. The effects of having a poor nutrition, there's quite a few main ones. It can lead to being overweight and obese, and this is where you just have such a high fat content that you swell up and you look really just fat. You just look fat, you get fat. Tooth decay is mainly by too much sugars. This is where your teeth start to rot away and become black, and sometimes they can even fall out. You can have high blood pressure. This is where the fat builds up in your arteries and veins, and like I said earlier, it causes it to smallen to that instead of that, therefore making your blood pressure high because there's not enough blood going through the arteries and the veins. You can also get heart problems and strokes from eating bad foods. So like I just said there, it builds up in your arteries and veins, and sometimes like a stroke, it'll cut off the oxygen supply because there's too much fat in the veins or the arteries, and the same with the heart for that bit as well. You can also develop type 2 diabetes. Now this is where your sugar levels, so there's your sugar levels, and because you eat so much bad food, your sugar levels rise, and that becomes your norm instead of that. So then that leads to diabetes, of course. It can also lead to depression. So this is a bit of a vicious circle, really, because you'll get depressed and you'll eat because you're depressed, and then you're depressed because you're eating, so you eat because you're depressed, and you just go round and round and round in circles. And it's really not a good way to live. You can also get an eating disorder. This is where you have to have sugar all the time, for example, so you just eat and eat and eat sugar all the time because that's what you need, even though you don't actually need it. This is very bad for you. And finally, for recommendations and guidelines, there's an Eat Well plate in the bottom right corner of the screen. Now this is divided up into 5 sections. Now a third of your diet, it says that it should be fruit and vegetables, and the other third, it should be carbohydrates. So like potatoes, rice, pasta, that sort of thing. And then about probably milk and protein are about the same. And then you have sugars in the middle. So that all makes up a full diet. You can obviously see that when you look at the bottom right corner of the screen.